been a fantastic day so far, and we are about to get to our highlight match.
Definitely for today. soO versus INnoVation. You could say this could have been final last year with the name value of these players, but they're in the losers bracket here fighting for their lives, and it's going to be really interesting because they're on the same team, and when you have those team kill games, there's a lot of weird dynamics that happen in those.
Yeah, absolutely. And also these guys are just so solid. Kind of weird that we're in this phase of the tournament, losers bracket, actually casting them when, as you were saying, it could very well have been the finals. Here's a player, if you know anything about Zerg, you've followed a lot of games with soO. He's one of the most solid Zergs of all time.
soO recently making out Code 8 beating Trust 3-1, and he's in Code S now, but here in the SSL is fighting for his life.
His opponent, excuse me, sorry. His opponent, though, INnoVation, also one of the greatest players ever. This guy has changed the way we view Terran. His control is solid. His strats are solid. He's just really damn hard to beat. But when did he really make his heyday? It was in Heart of the Swarm.
And we're in Legacy of the
soO.
Void.
Legacy of the Void. Different game, different rhythm to it. Different strategies, man. So let's see how they actually do this time around.
For sure. And no surprises there with the map choices, as we're going to transition here to the interview.
어제 잠은 잘 주무셨어요?
잠이요? 저는 잘 잤는데.
잠 잘 주무셨어요?
네, 잘 잤어요.
차 타고 오면서 무슨 생각했어요?
아, 오늘 빨리 끝내야겠다, 그냥. 별 생각 안 하고.
지금 둘 중에 한 명은 떨어지잖아요. 솔직히 누가 올라갈까요?
몇시냐고 얘기하세요.
오늘 각오 한마디로 갈까요?
질것 같지만 멋있는
네, 감사합니다. 파이팅!
Did you hear that scream
Yeah,
in the background?
I heard that as well. I was like, is someone getting murdered
It was
in the
the
background?
banshee ghost of a dead nerd they slayed in a past game. You guys might have noticed they had the same jackets on and the same backpacks on, and you might have said to yourself, what's going on? Did mom dress up for school today? Guys, they're on the same team. They train in the same house.
Trained by the same coach. I love OOV. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Absolutely. And so these two guys are going to be duking it out. They've, spent so much time, training against each other to help each other. So much time sharing ideas and secrets with each other. This could make for a best of three that is going to be very difficult for us to read at times. There might be mind games engineered specifically against the other player that we would not even know otherwise if they were doing it. It's going to be very interesting.
Yes, as I mentioned before, team kills in StarCraft 2 get so weird at times because both players want to win in the end, so they will throw the most craziest strategies out there to take the victory.
All right, our game's loading up. Let's do this. Let's get ready. Let's get hyped. This is soO versus INnoVation, a best of three here in the SSL. It's on. Let's do this. In the upper right, in the red, our Zerg player, he is
soO!
soO!
This is not the GSL.
I was trying to sync it up for when they came on camera.
Oh, my bad.
In the bottom left, in the blue, our Terran player, INnoVation.
So we see here soO actually going for a spawning pool first with that gas, which is quite interesting actually. So I assume he wants to get that speed out for those Zerglings. INnoVation meanwhile not going for a command center first that we see quite often on this map. Opting to go for the gas and the barracks, I assume, to get that Reaper out to see what soO is doing.
Yeah, this is pretty smart, I think, by soO. Reaper play is pretty strong. Getting the speedlings out allows you to possibly trap that Reaper, denying them the scout.
As we see SCV going to the back of INnoVation's base, no doubt that will be a command center. Meanwhile, soO's spawning pool just finished, starts that queen up and gets that gas to get the speed.
All right. EBZ, the tank has changed this matchup as it has other matchups as well. You know, just like we saw in Wings of Liberty, Marine Siege tank is quite strong, but now with the medevac playing a very critical role, Terran can keep relocating their tanks in the battle. Normally, especially in Wings of Liberty, it was the Marines would stim, they would kite backwards, and then eventually the tanks would soak up the damage as the Marines continue to deal it. Now it's a little bit different. Now we're seeing tanks get picked up and relocated. Of course, you got to be careful because if you're moving these tanks around with the medevacs, your army's not healing as much.
And also, if you're playing against a traditional composition of Muta, Ling, Bane, those mutas can pick off those medevacs, and if you're not careful, you could lose both your medevacs and your tanks. As we see here, the Reaper throws that grenade there, pops the queen back first. We'll see if this... Ooh, that's really close there. Yeah, got to be close to that Reaper. You do not want to lose that Reaper at this stage of the game.
So his Reaper's just moved down now. The Reaper didn't do any real effective scouting here. And Ling's speed is almost done. Now we're at the phase where Terran will begin to swap out the barracks with the factory and start to tech up here with the starport.
Ling's speed is done, but we don't see any Zerglings out on the map right now. So really peculiar. Okay, first two Zerglings, 4 Zerglings now for soO. As double Hellion here for INnoVation, trying to poke at the base of soO.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. The Hellions can continue to try to just drive back that creep, and what they're doing is they're keeping Zerg honest whenever they go for a strategy like this. I've had some people ask me before, well, you know, why do they get those Hellions? It doesn't seem like they do a whole lot. Well, it's hard to see what they're actually forcing the Zerg into doing. The Zerg has to have enough always to defend. If you didn't make these Hellions in a build like this, Zerg can get away with a lot more drones than you should really ever allow.
As we see Liberate, ooh, nice critical detonation there from the Reaper. The Reaper actually does go down, but it notes that no gas has been taken at that back base. Only 1 gas has been taken at the main base. soO's goal here is to drone, secure that 3rd base, but we see that Roach Warren go down.
And because of this, you know, we'll have to see where the Zerg begins to actually start massing up an army here. We've seen a lot of different strats here from Terran and Zerg in this matchup, but it usually ends up at about the same place. PvZ, when you get into that solid mid-game, does seem to always sort of look the same. Occasionally a little different unit compositions here, but hold out, we're actually going to have a Hellbat push come up here. And this might force, especially if you can get control of the ramp over here, or in fact, he's going to go straight for the hatchery. Let's see if he can force a possible cancel. The Roach Warren's done, but we don't have any Roaches out in the game just yet.
I think this Queen should be enough to deflect the Hellbat attack here from INnoVation. As we see, the hatchery does not get cancelled, which in my opinion was a good move. As see the Liberator deploying right now, it's going to take a lot of... Oh no, soO does a really good job main-outing those drones away. But these Hellbats doing a lot of damage. Nice transfusion there on the Queen. Oh, nice micro there as well. Another transfusion, and none of those Queens died. That was a really good job there from soO defending that Hellbat push.
And soO's taking up to Ravengers now. They should be able to make quick work of this Liberator. It's not easy for this Liberator to change forms as fast. Shut down in 2 attacks.
5
soO looking great job. They're doing great against INnoVation.
And as we see the Banshee here, building onto that damage that the Liberator did before. We'll see how much damage this Banshee does, but there are a lot of Queens out on the map for soO. There are Spore Crawlers around the map, so Cloak won't do that much damage. Actually, I stand corrected, there's a few drones get taken out by this Banshee.
And the Banshee is, now driven out, but so far INnoVation is not really making a dent in the armor here for soO. We've seen a lot of attacks where that goes much more effective. It was interesting to see the Hellbats actually get zoned into that corner and ultimately picked off without really trading at all effectively. I thought he might actually pick up and leave since he had the queens in a bad spot. Liberator did buy a little bit of time, but I'm not sure if it counts as enough.
Like, I think a better course of action from INnoVation during that attack was maybe using that Liberator to support the attack of with those Hellbats to pick at those queens. That might be a better choice. As it loses that Banshee. Oh, nice move there from soO. That's one less Banshee for him to worry about at this stage of the game.
And, you know, when INnoVation's lost that many units, one of the big problems that you can face in a situation like that is that you don't have anything to control the Zerg pushing the creep out now. He doesn't have really any of the bulk of his army that he picked up.
As we see here, Ravager's out for soO, as we saw before, taking out those Liberators at the expansion, as we're going to see INnoVation going for Marine Medivac rather, getting those upgrades, getting that combat shield, getting that stim. Everything's looking quite stock standard so far from both players.
Yeah, I am definitely liking how soO's been playing a little bit more than INnoVation so far, at least with all the engagements. But INnoVation, being the macro machine that he is already beginning to push out, heading diagonally across the map. But with enough Ravagers here, I wonder if it's possible soO might just swallow up this attack entirely.
I'm loving this play here from INnoVation. Use that Banshee to clear some of the creep, stop those humans out, and soO actually going for that fourth base there. Quite aggressive play there from soO. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
God.
I'm not sure if you've seen his push, but it looks like these Roaches don't do that much damage to the Marines. That Siege Tank picking off these creep tumors, as I think soO has to cancel that fourth base because no, he's going for a flank right now actually.
Yeah, he's going to come down here now. He wants to try to get it just in front of some of those Marines. He's chased him back enough. I think it was smart he didn't cancel that. Might want to wait until that's at least attacked over there. INnoVation really can't afford to overextend at all, especially in this phase of the game, because if Zerg gets that fourth base up while Terran loses the army, it's really tough for Terran to expand himself as well.
As we can see here, combat shields are done for the Marines of INnoVation. +1 for both weapon and armor is also done, now starting on the +2. As we see a drop going around on the map for INnoVation, trying to out-multitask soO here with that drop as he moves out again, takes out that Changeling, and I think that INnoVation's goal right now is to deny that fourth. And we actually see some investors out right now, so really interesting tech choice here from soO, not going for the Mulists, but rather going for Ravagers, Roaches, and investors.
And he's actually making an Ultra Cavern here. We see he's been getting the melee and armor attack here, and this is something that's been more common with Zergs here. Ultras are pretty damn strong in Legacy of the Void.
For sure, as excuse me. This nice group of Marines, I think that was the drop that he did before. Loaded it up, is taking a lot of drones out. Not a lot of drones, there's only 2 drones there, but
that's something.
Something in multitasking and actually drawing soO away from the main action that's happening here in the middle.
All right, there's another big attack happening down here in the center, clearing out that tank, and once again forcing INnoVation to respect soO's map presence this game.
But another drop here as well, and taking 3 drones there. And what I love about the engagement that happened just before is that INnoVation placed those tanks behind that wall so that the Roaches couldn't come in and take him out. The Ravagers couldn't get a good shot because they didn't have the vision of the tanks. And really loving the positioning that INnoVation has. You can clearly see his understanding of how the map works in his tank placements.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the medevac there, you could definitely set that up, pull it away, and have some very favorable engagements. At the same time, though, soO's been maxed out for a little while, and he's filling out the remainder of his supply here with a few Ultralisks. This is going to be pretty tough for INnoVation to handle, and I think one big problem for INnoVation is going to be that eventual fourth base. How will he hold it? And we have an attack coming up now. The medevac's boosting back. He needs to figure out where to position these tanks. Nicely placed there on the side.
Nicely placed there on the side, as you said. I thought he deployed those Liberators there to help defend from that push from soO, but I think at this point in the game, soO is looking to sack those Roaches, sack some of these Ravagers maybe, and try and get those Ultra Ling out, because Ultra Ling is such a strong combination in this game matchup.
Yeah, that's the problem, is when you're trying to hold your ground against the Ultras, the Zerg army could just be too strong. We already saw how much damage that Ultra did there, and now there's just not enough to defend as the remainder of these medevacs try to back up. Reinforcements here from INnoVation do meet back up. 136 supply to 180.
Yeah, those were some sick fungals there from soO, trapping the army that was stuck at the ramp of INnoVation. As we see, soO just posturing back right now, and since he's cleared some of his supply up, he can get those Ultralisks out and inflict way more damage than he could have before with that Roach Ravager army.
Well, he's kept him back. It looked like Zerg just barely had enough to hold that, but you know, we saw so many Ultras being cranked out as well as Lings, and I think it's about time that Zerg gets to pick the fight that he wants to have.
I definitely think the ball is in soO's court right now, because INnoVation's only taking his 4th base right now. soO's now taking his 5th. He's got quite that nice economical lead, and INnoVation's not maxed out right now, or soO is, so soO can take these trades that INnoVation can't really take. As we see this battle here right now, Ravagers with that corrosive bile catching on to those the army of INnoVation. INnoVation has to move back as actually soO's just moving in with his Ultralisk, and the Ravagers are doing such a great job of helping soO zone out the army of INnoVation.
And he's doing a fantastic job here. The expansion's lifted up, and this is what we were highlighting earlier that's going to be an issue, is that once he gets those mass Ultras up, Terran can try to kite all day, but he's not going to be able to hold an actual expansion here. The Liberator does, of course, set up a good control position here, but keep in mind, soO, 36 Lings, 2 more Ultras on the way, as well as a Spire about to finish. He might switch into a completely different tech here and throw Zerg way off of his footing.
Yeah, despite the fact that
Terran, rather, excuse me.
Despite the fact there are no Spire upgrades on those air units, it doesn't really matter at this point, because soO is so ahead right now. He's pretty much doubled the supply of INnoVation. These Ultra Ling swarm, it's just basically harder to swarm all over again. The opening cinematic, these Ultra Ling just walking into the base.
All we need now is for INnoVation to land a Viking and for the Ultra to just take it out.
Yeah.
Remember how wrecked that Viking got in the Art of Storm? He's like, I've got this one, and lands and just gets totally slammed.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to do it here for game number 1.
GG.
There it is. GG. soO shrekking INnoVation. I gotta say, from start to finish, I think soO was playing just a lot better.
I definitely think that that initial Hellbat attack from INnoVation could have done a lot more damage if he dealt with it a bit better. I feel that INnoVation felt that if he did more damage with that Hellbat attack, he would have had a better way of transitioning later into the mid and late game, but the Hellbat attack didn't do the damage that he wanted to get out of it, and as a result, soO was able to stabilize. He was able to use that Roach Ravager to zone out INnoVation's armies,